Hey, it's Jeremy from Lad SEO. In this video, I'm walking through an SEO audit of Portland Compressor to look at their site and figure out what should be done from an SEO perspective to help them rank better, get more traffic, and generate more revenue from search and AI. And the first thing I want to look at is the site itself, get some general idea about structure, how things are organized and set up, how things are optimized with keywords, titles, things like that. And the general layout of the site here is relatively clean. There's nothing that stands out significantly here. It looks like they do have additional product listings here on the homepage and probably could use a little bit more content on the homepage. And then a lot of internal links with these all go to probably collection style or category style pages, which is good. There's probably a lot of potential here for them with adding content and optimizing these pages better for keywords and categories that make sense. So to look at that, I like to look at Ahrefs here. And in here, first things to look at quickly would be the backlink profile, just to see, is it possible to compete for some of these keywords that we'll be looking at? And then secondly, looking at some search data over here. So DR, this number right here, is 36. This is on a 0 to 100 scale. And this basically lets us know how strong or how authoritative their site is. And then secondly, looking at search over here, you can see they're ranking for 10,700 keywords and getting about 17,000 visitors to the site each month. Now, a significant downtrend over the last year and a half or so. They were ranking for about 16,000 keyword positions here, down to like 10. So they lost about a third of their overall keyword rankings for some reason. Could be due to informational content losing to AI results, could be due to competitors outranking them for some of the keywords they want to rank for. But to look at this in more detail, let's dig into their actual keyword chart here. And first thing to do would be filter to US, and then let's do another search here for commercial and transactional key phrases to see what would make sense to focus on potentially initially and likely get some quick wins from that perspective. So the first thing to do here then is looking at this list, sort by search volume. Now we have 15,444 keywords. And one that stands out quite a bit here is this airless paint sprayer. And if you look here, you can see on the right side, they lost the ranking here. It was at number 19. And again, 15,000 people search for this every month. So if we look at this keyword in more detail here, a couple things stand out. Huge potential search volume, and it shows easy to rank here for this key phrase, but in all of these tools, you have to take all of these metrics with a grain of salt because it's looking at, for example here, it's estimating that you need 6 referring domains to rank in the top 10 for this key phrase. So it says this is an easy keyword to target. But if you actually look at the sites that are ranking for this keyword, we have Home Depot, DR90, Wagner Spray Tech, 63, Amazon 96, Reddit 95, The Spruce at 90, YouTube at 99, and then we have a 9, foampack.net, and then Graco at 78. But if you look here at this domains column, that's where this average comes from. This 6 referring domains necessary or estimated to rank in the top 10. If you look here, Home Depot has 3 to this page, Wagner Spray Tech 22, Amazon 3, nothing shown for Reddit here, 35 for The Spruce, 0 for YouTube, 0 for foampack. So a couple things to think about here. Number one is the strength of the sites currently ranking on page 1 for this key phrase, relatively strong. However, we do have a number 9 that shows 0 links here. So there may be some other stuff going on behind the scenes. They may have some links that aren't showing here and or other factors that we can't necessarily see at this point with this tool. But this does tell me that there is some potential to get on page 1 for this key phrase. The next thing to look at then would be what else is going on and why did they lose rankings for this key phrase. So if we look at this page here, a couple things to look at. First is the H1 is gas airless paint sprayers. And if I do a view page source here to see what's going on with the actual title of the page, you can see the title is right here at the way top. And this title for the page here is Gas Powered Airless Paint Sprayers by Graco, GMAX, GH, and Roof Rigs. And then the description is this part here. And it's Graco gas-powered airless paint sprayers, blah, 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 all that content there. So a couple things here. First, the title is initially optimized as gas-powered, then airless paint sprayers. And if we go back to the page itself, the H1 is gas airless paint sprayers. So they do have airless paint sprayers in here. And they do have, the title is optimized for that key phrase as well. But if you look at the site's ranking here, Home Depot's title is just airless paint sprayers. Wagner, airless paint and stain sprayer. Airless paint sprayer. And then Reddit, airless paint sprayers in there as well. So the top ranking sites have airless paint sprayers as the first part of the title. And again, if you recall, this one has gas powered first. So a very quick test to see how this impacts rankings would be to change the title from, I'll show you this in a document here. Let's just go like this. Copy this. So here is the initial title. This is showing up as white font. There we go. All right, so the initial title is gas powered airless paint sprayers by all of these. The recommended new title to test would be something like this. Very quick test to do as well. Airless paint sprayers. And you could even do gas powered, something like that. So that way then you have the primary key phrase you want to rank for as the start of the title instead of this part further on. And I've seen cases where just moving the keyword or phrase further to the left in the title improves rankings. In most cases, making this very simple keyword shift in your title is a relatively easy change to make and something you can test. Do this as a single variate test. Make this change, see how it impacts rankings, and shift it back if things don't move in the way you want them to. Okay, next thing to look at then would be some of the additional keywords and what else can be done on this page. So if we go back to the page here and we look at airless paint sprayer. There's 20 mentions of airless paint sprayer in here. You can see them highlighted in yellow. So many of these are product mentions. Some of these are additional categories over here. And they do have electric, gas. They do have another page for just, this is interesting. So they have this gas airless paint sprayers page, and then they have a separate category for airless paint sprayers. So this one, the title is actually optimized as airless paint sprayers initially. So there may be some keyword cannibalization going on. And what that is where you have multiple pages on your site that are optimized for the same or very closely related keywords or phrases. So one of the ways to handle this would be to, again, optimize this page better for, make sure this page is optimized for airless paint sprayers, and make sure that all of this other one here, like this, is optimized just for electric airless paint sprayers, and this one is just for gas. So apparently Google thinks that this page is optimized also for airless paint sprayers. And it's difficult in a case like this to get away from doing that because you do have that key phrase in here on all of these pages. So that would be something to think about, the general and overall structure of how this can be done, and potentially looking at some additional technical optimization with canonicals if needed, or changing around content structure and making sure that, again, this page is optimized specifically for that key phrase. The other way to make sure this makes sense for search is to utilize internal linking strategically as well, and to avoid ever using a link to the content on your site that does not make perfect sense and does not confuse search or an algorithm with what the keyword is pointing to on the new page. Hopefully that makes sense. But regardless, the other opportunities here on this page specifically would be adding additional content. And if you look here at like Wagner Spray Tech, let's check out their site and see how much content they have. So they have information here, a very quick overview. Then they have products, and then they have this FAQ section. And you can view all of them here actually, although that goes to a page that doesn't work. Interesting. So if you go back to this page here, There's just this little bit of information here, and then no additional FAQs or content. And the reason why this is so important, and I've talked about this numerous times, is if we look at the keyword airless paint sprayer and we go into all keyword opportunities here, now you can see a list of 2,572 keywords that contain airless paint sprayer. Search volume on this list is 48,000 per month, 86,000 searches globally. And the reason why this is so interesting is because it makes it easier for you to rank for more of these keywords if you have that content somewhere on that page. So adding content sections where you can include some of these items here, and I would include competitor terms, of course, or terms that you don't that don't fit your product offerings on that page. So you can filter this down further to just look for electric keywords for the electric page, and so on. Secondly, then, is that FAQ section here. If we look at the questions, this allows us to rank for and target 177 additional keywords that have questions or are related to questions. 1,500 searches per month, 2,300 searches globally. And again, this serves two purposes on this page, at least. One is it helps your prospective customers understand that you can help them with their problem. And secondly, it makes it easier for you to rank in AI and organic when you have these questions and answers in your content concisely and answered strategically and marked up correctly. So if you do all of those things correctly, it makes it easier for any algorithm to understand your content and rank you. And the key here is getting people to your site, to your product and category pages who do not already know about your brand, but are looking for the solution you can provide them. And that is how you build content on your site and optimize it correctly so you could rank for dozens or hundreds or thousands of additional keywords and phrases. Hopefully you got some value from this video. If you did, subscribe to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I plan to continue posting more videos like this, sharing SEO strategies and insights on what can be done and how a website should be optimized with content, keywords, and general structure to make sure that you are getting the most value from your SEO efforts to generate more revenue from organic and AI. And that's it. I'll see you in the next one.